This incident happened in 2019 when I was living in an old apartment building in Ohio, the kind built in the 1960 seconds, with long hallways, thin walls, and lights that never felt bright enough. I lived on the top floor, and at the far corner of the hallway, there was a basement access apartment that was officially listed as vacant, though starting in December, I began to sense that someone was there, someone I never clearly saw, because all movement from that unit only happened at night, with the hallway lights flickering, and the door always left slightly open, as if it was meant to be watched rather than closed. One night, around 2:30 a.m., when I stepped out to get water from the fridge, I opened my door and saw a figure standing at the far end of the hallway, completely still, his shadow stretching unnaturally long under the balcony light. And at first I assumed it was a drunk resident, until, as I pulled my door shut, his head slowly tilted in my direction, in a way that felt deliberate and aware. I locked myself inside, but 3 days later, a small slip of paper slid under my door that read, "You walk loud," which made no sense because normal complaints go to the office, not through notes. And the following night, another note appeared saying, 3:14 a.m. You open your fridge, at which point I realized someone was carefully observing my routine despite there being no cameras in the building. And each night after that, the basement door seemed to open a little wider. Eventually, I decided to catch whoever it was, and at 12:45 a.m., I waited silently by my door until I saw the basement door crack open and a hand slide a note toward my apartment. And when I suddenly opened my door, I saw him kneeling directly outside, inches away, as if he had been there for hours, his eyes wide, unblinking, and fixed on me with an intensity that didn't feel human. I slammed the door, locked it, and called the police. But when they arrived, the basement unit was completely empty. No furniture, no bags, nothing except a single chair placed in the corner, facing the hallway, and the office later told me the unit had officially been vacant the entire time, with no one registered there since before December, brushing it off as if the idea of an unknown man living there was barely worth questioning. The police closed the case due to lack of evidence, but strange things continued, like faint echoes in the hallway when I closed cabinets, and a slow, rhythmic tapping outside my door at 4 a.m. And when I checked the peephole, the hallway was empty, except for a smudge right in the center of the glass that looked like a tilted forehead print, as if someone had been pressing their head against it to look inside. A few days later, a maintenance worker casually mentioned that years ago there had been a man in that same basement unit who only moved at night and wrote down residents' routines. Someone who was never officially seen moving in and who vanished one night, leaving behind only a chair. And that was when I decided to move out immediately, on my last night with boxes packed. At 2:58 a.m., a final note slid under my door reading, "You leave tomorrow. Good. But you forgot one thing: I never lived in that apartment." And when I looked down the hallway, the same chair that police had removed was now back, positioned under a spotlight, facing my door, as if someone was sitting there watching. I locked myself inside and left at daylight. But 2 weeks later, after moving to a new place, I received a voicemail from an unknown number with a heavy, mechanical-sounding voice that said, "You don't walk loud anymore, but I still hear you." And that's when I understood that maybe he was never tied to the building at all, because even now, whenever I walk through quiet apartment corridors late at night, every shadowed corner reminds me of that tilted head silhouette. Except now it doesn't try to hide anymore. It wants me to notice, to understand, that it never really left.